Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy P Farm. Thinking right out here in the lab, and I'm in the book. We about to get into the 5 paths of yoga. Good stuff. Short, one page, but informative. Let's go. Shouldn't take up much of your time, but should give you a lot of information. Rightisms, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in my stories for life. I give you life lessons. You tune in and receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking way of life through mental and spiritual discipline. Practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. See where we're going with this? Let's get there together. So I asked the question, do you know you? You went on through. That's what I do. It's rhetorical, but if you don't have to answer it for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you, cause you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous, avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself and too. Might not be true. Right thinkers, let's talk about the 5 paths of yoga. It's 5 categories, and each one represents a whole nother lesson or crack of philosophy that you can practice and master. The goal is to master all 5. Some people like to pick 1 or 2, but again, your choice. Let's go. The disciplines of yoga, they fall under 5 major categories. You got a few other side that self-explanatory. All right, but these are: 1, yoga of wisdom. That's right thinking philosophy. That the one I practice. That's 1. Yoga of devotional love. That's 2. Right thinking philosophy that we passed it, that I mastered. Yoga of meditation, my favorite. Another one. Right thinking philosophy, mastered. Tantric yoga. Learned it, understand it, mastered it because I had to, not because I wanted to. And I did, and it's fine. I get it, I understand it. I'm not going to practice it. All the position, no, I'm not doing that. So I'll let you know real quick. That ain't my thing. All right, but I do know it, teach it, profess it. Yoga of selfless, righteous action. That's right there, philosophy in a nutshell, right there. That's my yacht. And within these 5 categories, there are some subsidiary forms which are part of the main disciplines, but pretty much these are the categories. You pick the one that suits you best, you pick the one that tickles your fancy, whatever floats your boat. But the idea is to master it. Whichever one you pick, master that. It takes about a year, okay, of practice daily. Okay, so I'll get that. No, take your time and it'll be a while. It's worth it. Let's go. So the daily practice of any of these disciplines will lead you to what we call supreme consciousness, but can be called, you will be called a yoga, okay, yogi. If you study, rationalize, and reflect upon those teachings, you're right thinking. No, you are practicing yoga of wisdom, and that's make you a right thinker because we practice yoga of wisdom. That's one of our favorite lessons from our set. If you meditate daily upon your teachings and your higher self, aka God, then now you are practicing one of my favorites, yoga of meditation. When you commune with God, not through prayer, only way you can connect with God is through meditation. God is mental. The temple's up here, not made with human hands, and that's the way to communicate with God. They told us about the pineal gland for a reason. They knew that was God's transmitter. They knew that. We don't, obviously. All right. So, excuse me. If you practice, a lot of people, this is one of their favorites, rituals and identifying you with spiritual nature, that means you're practicing yoga of ritual identity. That's the sideshow, but which is a part of, again, yoga of wisdom. All right. And the yoga of devotional love of the divine. When you practicing rituals, you learn how to worship God. You went through the ceremonies and you will practice that. And part of that is devotional love and wisdom. So those three all go together. And if you develop, and as you should, by working out every day, doing the thing you need to do, your physical nature, your body, okay, and your physical energy centers, aka the serpent power, you are practicing the serpent power. Y'all know it more as Kundalini or the Uranus, okay? But you're practicing Uranus, or excuse me, you're practicing serpent power or Kundalini yoga, all right? Which is also part of the tantric yoga concept. Anything got to do with that serpent, anything got to do with male and female getting it in, that's tantric yoga. All right, it's a sexual expression with male and female. But if you practice living according to the teachings of what we call moral and ethical behavior, and you offer a selfless service, you are practicing my favorite, yoga of action, aka Mayat, in your daily life. That's what I do. I'm doing it right now. If you practicing turning your attention toward God by developing your love for the divine God, then it is practicing, it is called devotional yoga or yoga of the divine love. Again, love for God. I give that one to the Christians because I see them doing just that. They are devoted and they love their Christ. So I don't have a problem with that. All right. So the practice of yoga, this practice of yoga, a practice of yoga, a practitioner of yoga, is called a yogini if you're male, yogini if you're female, and one who has attained, aka mastery, culmination of the yoga disciplines, union with the divine. When you make your connection with God, that's a mystical experience that you have to have. Any one of these disciplines, yoga disciplines, will get you to have that experience. That's what we're saying. And once you have the one, you get them all. Now you can walk, talk, act all the time. And this is called being a yogi. But in this manner, if you master each one of these, you're a yogi. You're a master. But in this manner, yoga has been developed into many other disciplines. Everybody got a discipline now or philosophy about what they think you should do, how you should live. Okay. Which may be used in what they call an integral fashion to achieve what? The same goal. Any one you choose will get you to spiritual enlightenment. Why? Because enlightenment, excuse me, go back. In this manner, yoga have been developed into many disciplines, which may be used in an integral fashion in order to achieve the same goal. What? Enlightenment. Again, they all religions supposed to enlighten you. Anything that you practice and get into God is supposed to enlighten you. Okay. So therefore, you the aspirant, you should learn everything you could about what all the paths of yoga, and then choose those elements, concentrate on which best suits your personality, and you practice them all to an integral, balanced way so you will understand everything you need to know about yourself from every aspect in every yoga discipline you have understanding. And that's called self-mastery, again, over your discipline self. All these forms of spiritual practice are directed to do one thing only. They're all directed toward the goal of assisting all individuals who practice this to discover the true essence of the universe, both externally in physical creation and internally within the heart mind as the very root of human consciousness. Thus, many terms are and have been used to describe the attainment of the goal that we call spiritual knowledge and the eradication of what we know to be spiritual ignorance. If you're spiritually enlightened, you're not ignorant. And some of the names that are used for that person, you ready? There's a few of them: enlightenment, resurrection, salvation, the kingdom of heaven, moksha or liberation, Buddha consciousness, one with the Tao, self realization. My favorite classic, know thyself. It's more. But you see what I'm going with this? Everybody has a name for the same thing, but the names are just different, but it all saying the same thing about the same thing. Spiritual enlightenment, becoming one with God, becoming conscious of who you are, or remembering who you are, however you want to slice it. But this also means that the names have been used to describe that one transcendental essence that everybody sees different. God, another name, Allah. You see it right here? We got more. The essence, that thing we call God. Some people say God, our ancients called the Nether. Allah from the Muslims, Asar for the Egyptians, Aset, Egyptian, Krishna, Indian, Buddha, Hindu, the higher self, Egyptians, Supreme Being, Egyptian, and many others. Again, he said, I am that same God that will be known by a myriad of mysterious names, because everybody gonna pick out a name to call him to suit their culture, their need to teach. That's fine. He not a problem with that. Okay, just serve him in earnest. That's what he asked you for. The phrase integral yoga, it means the personality of every human being is somewhat different. Yeah, we are. And please understand, we are unique human beings in every aspect. No two fingerprints are the same. No two snowflakes are the same. So no two human beings are the same. Unless even twins ain't the same. So get the concept, understand it, please. And stop with so much of the semantic. You say this, he say that. 6 on one hand, half done on the other. It's the same thing. Moving on. So, I get annoyed. Stop trying to be smart, ignorant. That's not smart. Asking ignorant questions and having an ignorant philosophy, that's not smart. It's a waste of somebody's time. Basically, really mine. I don't deal with that. But these are factors that you have to understand. But however, the sages of the yoga disciplines have identified 4 basic factors, concepts, which are common to what? All human personality. What they're saying is this is for everybody. Okay? These factors are emotions. Oh yeah, the ego is your emotions. Reason, that's tahuti, your ability to think and comprehend. Action, I read. What you gonna do? You read what you sow. You put the work in. And your will. Those are things that you have total control over as an individual. These are qualities that you can master and manifest for yourself by putting them into use the way they intended. That's what I'm about to show you how to use them right quick. All right, let's go. But this means that in order for any human being to spiritually evolve in all aspects of his or her personality must progress in an integral fashion. We all got to grow together, mind, body, and spirit. So therefore, these 4 major forms of yoga disciplines have evolved, and each is specifically designed to promote what? A positive movement in the person in the areas of your personality, which is the yoga of devotional love. You have to have love for God, and that enhances and harnesses your emotional aspect in the human personality, which we all have. The ego have to acquiesce to God. and it directs us towards what? Your higher self, not your lower self. The yoga of wisdom will enhance and harness the reasoning aspect right there, Tahuti, and all human personalities, and directs it to, towards its higher self. The yoga of action enhances and harnesses the movement and your behavior aspect in the human being, your personality, and it also directs it towards your higher self. You see where we're going with this? You see the concept? So the yoga of meditation, ding, 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 right here. Meditation enhances and harnesses what? Your willpower, the will aspect of your human personality, and directs it, towards your higher self. You see right here? There's a nice little schematic about that. And we're going to go through each one. I'm going to break it down for you right here. But each one, see here? It says, emotions directed by devotion to God. Your love for God. Second one, reason, wisdom, knowledge, tahuti, thinking. That's I said. Okay? Yoga of wisdom. Learning and practicing what you learn and put in use. Action is putting work in service, selfless service. Give without looking to receive anything for what you're doing. You're giving. Okay? Last one, will and meditation. Meditation will give you the willpower to what? Do whatever you need to do to help you get you got to go. Why? Because you're talking to your higher self, aka God. Let's talk about it right quick. I see the clock. I can try to beat the clock. Let's go. Yeah, one page. We good. Thus, again, yoga is a discipline, a spiritual living which transforms every aspect of your personality in a balanced and integral fashion, leaving no aspect of your personality behind. We're going to bring everybody along, okay? That is say, no child left behind, no aspect of your character should not be mastered by you. So no aspect of your character should be left behind. That's the concept, all right? But this is important because an unbalanced movement spiritually will only lead one to frustration and more ignorance and more distractions and more illusions, leading you away from your higher self. For example, if a person develops the so-called reasoning ability, I don't figure it out, I got it together, aspect of their personality, and then he and she may come to actually believe that they have discovered their higher self. I know myself because they figured out one aspect. They mastered the reason, so they think they got it all together. And watch this. However, when it comes to dealing with some problem in life that they're going to have, such as, real personal, up close, as the death of a loved one, and they freak out. Why? Because they cannot control other aspect that they should have been mastered that they didn't. They only got the reason aspect. They got no control over their emotions. Leads to what? Actions, and they're going to go downhill from there. Or if they are tempted to do something unrighteous. I tell my mother-in-law she's blind, and she tests people. I call her, I said, Mom, but you really, you really enticing them because you put stuff there, and people are curious by nature, and they think because she can't see them that they can, do stuff. I call that the integrity test. I tell her, anybody who failed the integrity test, leave them alone. But nope, don't care how long you know them, don't care what they are, that means nothing to me. See, you evolve emotionally. I got no emotional ties to them. I'm telling you about them. If they fail the integrity test, leave them alone. But I trust them. You trust them with the test. You gave them the test, they failed. Simple as that. Move on. We still go back and forth about that. But the whole point is when you are doing unrighteous things, you can't get away because why? You're going to fail. And another problem, your willpower. If your willpower is weak, is such as you can't stop smoking, they can't control their actions, you are one of the guys who hit women, you quick to respond, those are all negative qualities that you obviously didn't master. And you have no willpower or self-esteem to what? Resist doing what? The wrong thing. I told you I'm dead set on what? Doing what's right. So all these qualities, I took care of that. Okay. The inner vision. and your vision of your integral yoga, that's a lofty goal to obtain. But every individual being can achieve it if they had the proper guidance and the right self effort and repeated practice daily. They will have be able to harness and master these qualities for themselves and eradicate the negative one for themselves. Again, you got to put the work in, self effort. There is a very simple philosophy behind integral yoga, which is during the course of the day, during the course of any day, you may find yourself doing various activities. Fine. Sometimes you will be quiet, and at other times you will be busy at work, and at other times you may be interacting with people, etc. But integral yoga practice gives you the opportunity to what? Practice yoga when? All the time. In every aspect, you can find some way to use yoga intrinsically, integrally. When you have quiet time, now you can just practice your meditation. I do that when I'm in, I go right to meditation mode. I just go right on in. All right. But when at work, now you can practice righteous action, doing what? The right thing, selfless service, helping somebody else, making sure things going smooth, you doing your part. And when you have leisure time, again, this is all your time, you can study and reflect on the teachings. And when you feel the sentiment of what? Love for a person or object you like, you like, you can now practice remembering what? Your divine self who made it all possible for you to experience the company of those personalities or the opportunity to actually acquire those objects in life for a higher perspective. You now can practice self-reflecting on how the people and objects creation are expressions of what? The one divine self. And this movement will lead you to your spot, to you to have what they call spontaneous and perpetual state of ecstasy, peace, and bliss within oneself. When you reach that level of satisfaction in life, you just feel good. And can't nobody take it away. Why? They didn't give it to you. It's yours to do whatever you wish, but nobody can take it away. Which are the hallmarks. These are the hallmarks of what we call spiritual enlightenment. That's the level you're at. And the purpose of integral yoga is therefore to promote integration of your whole personality, your whole self of the human being. You got some people good at one thing. If you're good at singing, okay, but their personality is suck. They good at sports. Outside of sports, they suck, but they will get all the money, all the fortune, fame with just what? That one quality. But why? People pay for that. Okay? God give you a gift, you can exploit it, you cultivate it, you can get paid for it. But if you don't make yourself a better person, you get all that, you're still gonna be a bad person. Simple as that. Okay? But for all human beings, in this which will lead to you having a complete spiritual enlightenment. When you cover yourself, every aspect of yourself, that's what the part in integral yoga is about, mastering all five aspects of your character so you can discipline yourself in every area, not just one or two. Okay? Thus, integral yoga should be understood and mastered as one of the most effective methods to practice mystical spirituality along with right thinking philosophy. The important point to remember is that all aspects of your personality in every discipline of yoga can and should be mastered and used in we know to be an integral fashion to generate an efficient and a harmonized spiritual movement in your life. Wrapping it up, taking it home. Here we go. Therefore, while there may be an area of special emphasis, one that you particularly care for, like I said, I love self-service, I love the wisdom. So I have to deal with them, but I had to learn the other ones also. The tantra, I ain't big on tantra, but I understand it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna twist myself with the pistol. I'm not doing none of that. Okay, but you have to master other elements, and they are bound to become what? A part of your daily life and your yoga program as needed. If you have it and don't need it, that's fine. But if you need it and don't have it, you're going to suffer. And for example, while a yogin may place his or her emphasis on the yoga of wisdom, that's just one aspect. They may also, here we go, practice their devotional yoga of love and yoga of meditation along with the wisdom studies. That's what I did right there. That's the example. Further, it must be understood that as you practice one path of yoga, you have to master that path before you go to the next one. But you can work on them as you go, but you have to master the one that you're on. And others will also become developed, and they will do that automatically. You start implementing them, it's there automatically. For example, as you practice your yoga of wisdom, your faith will increase, or as you practice the yoga of devotional love, your wisdom will also increase. See how they go back and forth? They work together again, uniformly, but each one should be mastered. If this movement does not occur, that means your wisdom alone will just be dry intellectualism, or your faith alone will just be blind faith. Nothing to go on, nothing to substantiate it, nothing to be done. So when we speak of wisdom, here we are referring to wisdom gained how? Through your own experience and your intuitional wisdom that you have woken up and became conscious of, not intellectual wisdom, which is speculative. But if you do not practice the teachings through the yoga of action, your wisdom and faith will be shallow. Why? Because you have no experience with the truth of the teachings, allowing yourself the opportunity to what? Test your true knowledge and your faith by practicing, experiencing, and living it. If you do not have introspection or experience in faith and your wisdom and your actions, you will be externalized, meaning agitated and distracted. Your spiritual realization will be insubstantially, and it will be weak and lacking stability. Now, you will not be able to meet the challenges of life because you're not prepared for all the situations that you're going to be dealing with if you have mastered all 5 categories of your spiritual disciplines. That's yoga disciplines. And nor will you be able to discover true spiritual realization. You will never know yourself in this lifetime. So you're going to be reincarnated when? After death. Right there. So therefore, taking it home, the integral path of yoga, the mastery of the 5 steps with proper guidance. I'm here every day for you. And that's the most secure method to achieve genuine spiritual enlightenment. A good teacher and your efforts will get you where you want to go, your appointed goal, taking it home. Isis, the name of the book we got here, is the Greek name for the ancient Egyptian goddess who was regarded as the very embodiment of wisdom. Okay? Her ancient Egyptian name was Aset. The wisdom teachings in her temples were known as she taught Aset. We will concentrate on the wisdom teachings of the temple from Aset for our study on the yoga of wisdom. And the word yoga, again, is a Sanskrit word term meaning to unite the individual with the cosmic, you with God. At ancient Egypt, the term sma meant the same thing. English terms have been used for the title in this book for ease of communication since the words Isis and yoga have received wide popularity in recent years. Everybody know them as that, so we give them that information. I'm about to take you to religion and the 3 levels for my Christian buddies. Okay, if you're not fulfilling these things, you're not. Don't call yourself a Christian. All right, you're not religious. All right, right thinkers, hope you enjoyed the lesson. All right, that was a nice little long one, but hope I made my point with the 5 paths of yoga discipline. Master all of them, trust me. In closing, right thinkers, may you all, there'd be 100, me 100 minus a day. So I've known of my right thinkers who now learn to master the 5 disciplines of yoga have passed away.